Across the endless Eurasian steppe, riders emerged like shadows, swift, fierce, and untamed. From their youth, Scythians were bound to the saddle, learning to ride and shoot before they could walk with strength. Even their women rode to war, legends that echoed in Greek tales of the Amazons. Guided by shamans, they saw the world through smoke, ritual, and visions of the beyond. At their head stood chieftains, lords of the steppe, commanding warriors with a single gesture. Even the mighty Persians came to bargain, uneasy before the nomads they could never subdue.
Life in their camps was both harsh and communal, every hand preparing for war.
The world would soon learn their name, Scythians, riders of fire and wind. Around 900 BCE, a new people emerged on the Eurasian steppe. They were the Scythians, masters of horse and bow. Their earliest homelands stretched across Ukraine, southern Russia, and Kazakhstan. The Kazakh steppe gave them endless pastures for their herds. The harsh steppe shaped them into nomads, living in tents of felt and leather. Horses, sheep, and cattle sustained their roaming life. It was a land of extremes, burning summers and freezing winters. The steppe demanded mobility. Archers on horseback became their way of war. To the south, mighty empires like Persia watched the northern nomads with wary eyes. Assyrian records hint at their first clashes with the Scythians.
For Persians, the Scythians were both enemies and potential allies.
To the west, Greek colonies on the Black Sea traded with the steppe nomads. They spoke an Iranic tongue, part of the great Indo-European family. The steppe was their cradle, their fortress, and their destiny. From the Amu Darya to the Dnieper, their world spanned thousands of miles. Born of the steppe, the Scythians would soon shape the destiny of empires around them. The Scythians lived as nomads, their homes built of felt and leather, always ready to move. Within these portable homes, families shared warmth, stories, and meals. From childhood, Scythians grew as riders, one with their horses. Their skill at archery on horseback made them feared across the steppe. Their wealth was measured in herds of cattle, sheep, and above all, horses. At the top were warrior kings and nobles, feasting in tents adorned with gold. Beneath them stood warriors, bound by loyalty to their chiefs. Amun herdsmen formed the base of Scythian society. Even women fought beside men, inspiring the Greek myth of the Amazons. Husband and wife could ride to war side by side. To the Greeks, these women became immortalized as the legendary Amazons.
Shamans bridged the human and the spirit worlds.
Herodotus wrote of their strange funerary rites, smoking hemp to honor the dead. Horses, too, were offered in sacrifice, to serve their masters in death. Their faith was bound to sky, fire, and the spirits of their ancestors. Life on the steppe was harsh, yet also deeply communal. Their dead were buried in kurgans, along with treasures and sacrifices. Golden art, in animal style, told stories of power and spirit.
Their society was bound to the rhythm of the steppe itself.
In tents, in herds, in battle and ritual, the Scythians were a people of the horde.
On the steppe, every rider was a warrior, bound to his horse and bow.
Their chiefs commanded not from palaces, but from the saddle.
Among them rode fierce women, warriors who became legends in Greek myth.
Boys became warriors before they were men, schooled in the bow.
They perfected the deadly art of shooting while galloping at full speed. Their composite bows sent arrows with deadly force and accuracy.
Lances and short swords gave them the edge in close combat.
Their short sword, the akinakis, struck terror in close quarters.
Hit and run! Strike, vanish, and strike again!
Even mighty Persia struggled to break them. When Darius marched north, his armies met only arrows and dust. Persian ranks faltered under the storm of arrows. The nomads melted into the plains, only to reappear at their enemy's flank.
Persia could not pin down its elusive foe.
They pursued their enemies until only fear remained.
Strike fade, and the steppes swallowed them whole.
Their horses were more than beasts. They were brothers in battle.
Confusion tore through the great king's host.
Even in the chaos, Scythian women struck with fury.
Arrows rained like hail, breaking the enemy's spirit.
Persia's pride was humbled, its army broken. Victory belonged to the riders of the steppe. Spoils of war lay across the plain, proof of Scythian might.
No empire could tame the riders of the steppe. Darius himself learned that Scythian arrows could shatter the pride of Persia. The Scythians expressed their soul in gold, carved with beasts of power. The stag, swift and sacred, was among their most beloved images. Predators, too, found place in their art, symbols of strength and ferocity. The eagle soared as guardian of the skies and spirit. In every stroke of gold, the Scythians bound nature and spirit. They worshipped the eternal sky, the blazing sun, the sacred fire. Fire linked them to their gods, their ancestors, their destiny. To their ancestors they gave milk, blood, and prayer. Their kings lay in kurgans, mounds of earth raised toward the heavens.
The dead were sent to the next world, laden with treasures.
Some bodies survived as mummies, frozen in time.
Horses too were buried, companion to serve beyond death. Families mourned beneath the endless sky. Once sealed, the mound became a monument of eternity.
Wolves, stags, panthers, their art was a living bestiary.
Even Greeks marveled at their golden beasts.
The steppe blazed with sacred flames in their rites. Masks of ancestors watched over the living.
With offerings in hand, they walked the path of farewell.
Today, their treasures shine behind museum glass. The Hermitage holds some of the greatest Scythian gold ever found. Each artifact speaks of a vanished world of spirit and art. Animals, gods, and warriors merged forever in golden form. In their gold and in their graves, the Scythians left echoes of a world where animals, gods, and warriors became one eternal design.
At times, the Persians sought peace with the riders they could not conquer.
Alliances were sealed with feasts, but never with trust.
Yet Persia's kings feared the horsemen who struck and vanished.
Through Greek ports on the Black Sea, Scythians traded grain, horses, and slaves.
Their fertile plains fed Greek colonies with endless grain.
Slaves taken in war were sold to the Mediterranean world.
Herodotus preserved their image, half fact, half legend.
Even Greek art depicted the horse archers of the north.
Macedon, too, would clash with the Scythians. Scythian riders harried the iron wall of the phalanx. But even the Scythians bled before Macedonian spears.
Alexander himself marched against them.
At the Jaxartes River, their riders met the king of Macedon.
Their arrows fell like rain across the waters. Alexanderum's charge broke their lines at last.
The Scythians melted back into the steppe, unconquered in spirit. Greek art remembered their clashes with the nomads. Trade bound them to Greece, even as wars raged. They gave hides and horses for Greek wine and luxury. Persia marched deep into the steppe, but found only empty horizons. The Scythians burned their land, denying Persia food and battle. The Scythians, once lords of the steppe.
Against Persia, against Greece, against Macedon, the Scythians fought, traded, and endured. By 200 BCE, new riders swept into the Scythian world, the Sarmatians. The Scythians, once lords of the steppe, now faced rivals as fierce as themselves. Horse met horse. Arrow met lance as two nomadic worlds collided.
The Scythians began to bleed their strength away. Defeat drove them from the heart of their old lands. Once proud camps lay silent, left behind in haste.
Greek writers noted their decline, the shadow of a people once feared. Many fled to Crimea, carving out new homes along the Black Sea. By the Dnieper, they clung to life as traders and farmers.
By now, Rome too cast its gaze toward the steppe nomads. Some settled into farming, their nomadic ways fading.
They mixed with Greeks and others, new peoples born of old blood.
Their armies dwindled, their strength scattered. The Sarmatians rose in their place, masters of the open plain.
Their mounds stood lonely across the steppe, monuments to a vanished age.
In Greek markets, their name lingered long after their power had faded.
Romans spoke of them as ghosts of history.
The once feared warriors lived on only as farmers and villagers.
Their realm shrank, piece by piece, until little remained.
A handful still fought, guarding remnants of their people. Defeated, the Scythians faded into silence.
They did not vanish at once. They blended into the peoples around them. The steppe they once ruled no longer echoed with their hooves. The Scythians vanished as a people, but echoes of their riders lingered in Crimea and beyond. Centuries later, the Huns carried their legacy of mounted war.
And in the 13th century, the Mongols perfected what the Scythians began.
Their golden beasts still gleam, inspiring artists across centuries. Designers today still borrow from their animal style.
The Scythians remain symbol of freedom upon the open steppe.
In Ukraine, the Scythians are remembered as ancestors of the land.
Across Russia's steppes, their kurgans rise as timeless monuments. In Crimea, echoes of their last strongholds remain. Festivals revive their spirit in contests of speed and skill. Scholars trace their language, their art, their stories.
The steppe remembers the thunder of their hooves.
The Scythians vanished as a people, but their spirit still gallops across the endless steppe.